Hi, I'm Mike.
And I'm Tom.
And this is NFGeeks. Tom, welcome back.
Quack.
Good to see you. For this episode, Tom, we're going to talk about your sort of absurdist operations, if you will.
Always the absurdist thing, you know.
Yeah, that's right. And so you're sort of an absurdist cartoonist. You've been drawing cartoons as long as I've known you, actually.
How long have you known me?
Oh, a long time.
Actually, we tried to do a book together once.
Yeah, that's right. I'd like maybe, actually, like 16 years, 17 years, you know, something like that.
Been that long.
Yeah,
Scary.
Absolutely have.
Before the magic.
That's right, in the
magic
before
thingy.
time.
Before time.
Yes, that's right. When there were dragons and, you know. All right, so we're going to talk about your cartoons that you draw, and they're very fascinating. I've seen a lot of them. And so first of all, let me ask you a few questions. How did you get into cartooning? When did this start?
Jesus, that's an interesting question. Probably back in the before time. Yeah, back when I was a kid, I guess I just
So it's before the before time.
Before the before time.
Sure. All right, but
before
your whole
we had
life.
paper. Yeah. Yeah.
Right, you were doing the hieroglyphics and
Well, actually, clay. And it was
like cuneiform.
I was in the court of Hammurabi, and he said, you know, could you do something because I'm sick of these things.
That's
and
right.
So like smush the clay around with the little people doing this.
That's right. All right, perfect. So, so you've been doing it your whole life. Okay. What do you do with them now? Are they published? Where do you send your cartoons?
I do. I'm actually have the good fortune to be regularly published in 2 children's magazines. One of them is
Really?
One of them is Dig, and the other one is called Calliope, and they are published by a corporation called Caris Publications. And I do a regular thingy for South Coast Insider, which is a magazine that is concerned with everything on the South Coast of Massachusetts and Rhode Island and that sort of thing. And trying to think of what else. I'm actually experimenting now with coming up with what I'm imagining as a one-panel comic, and I'm testing it on Facebook with the idea that if I finally get the thing worked out, I would then have like a Facebook site for the comic.
That's something. Honestly, I could help you to do that.
Well, actually,
they're in the ones for NFGeeks.
The three rough ones are buried in that pile in there. But anyway, and the
maybe
idea
we'll get to them.
And the idea of it is, it's just, I mean, I very much like science and absurdity. So it seems to me that every day there's some new, totally ridiculous thing that's now fact. So I've decided I'm just going to basically present a kind of science site that's all made up in complete rubbish.
Oh, perfect.
And see who actually picks. Actually, I did the first one, and a friend of mine, she posted me and said, "That's not right. You can't get tuberculosis that way." And I said, "Well, you're probably the only person that gets the joke." And then it turned out actually I was right. You can get tuberculosis that way.
Oh, that's wonderful.
You can get tuberculosis in all kinds of different ways.
Well, that's great. That makes me happy about being in here with all the dust and everything. Well, that's funny you should say that because I've seen your cartoons, again, lots of times. And what's great about them is that they are absurd, and there's also some sort of science technology always going on with them. There's always
I've always wanted to be a robot.
Yes, like a good INTP. Okay, that's one of my jokes about INTPs.
Or a T-Rex.
All right, but those are an INTP T-Rex. That's fantastic. There's always been like technology and science and rockets and lasers and computers, and there's always been some kind of mechanical legs. That's all part of your stuff, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to show some of Tom's cartoons. They're really very fascinating and very interesting, and Tom's going to just sort of talk about them to whatever degree he wishes,
Or not.
or not. And also to my audience, feel free to also interpret the pictures, and also post ideas you want Tom to draw, and he may pick one up.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and I'll send it to him too. So feel free to sort of participate in this process.
Or throw Rotten Tomatoes at the screen.
They do that anyway.
Because it's their computer,
Oh,
so who
no,
cares?
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, believe me, I have haters. There are people who hate NFG.
Who could possibly hate
Well, that's
you?
that's exactly.
This face.
Exactly.
Who could hate this face?
Exactly. You know, I'm really warm and cuddly and friendly. Like, you know, people hate me. You know, it's true.
You're gonna put string your phone number underneath the thing or something?
No, absolutely not. All right, so let's start. So this is sort of the first one, sort of a book. I see this as a book cover, not that you would use it that way, but it has your name on it, so I want to put it up there.
Yeah.
You know,
It, it was done
so this
actually.
is so this is the first one.
Dad, to your
good.
right.
To my right.
Left.
Left. Okay. No.
Little more. Little more.
Okay.
Little more.
Which way?
To the left.
This way?
Okay, great.
All right, you gonna hit the camera now? There we go.
Look at
All
that.
right, isn't that nice? It looks fantastic.
Wow.
So this is your sort of. Let me get a little forward or back. No, backwards. I want to get the whole
The
picture.
magic camera can't do that? Gee.
Oh, I can. There we go.
there we go.
Okay, so what? All right, what do you want to say about this one?
Basically, it was an idea for a self-promotional thing because it says illustration by Tom Lopes, and the it sort of shows me imagining myself, which is kind of interesting, relates to the sort of prior conversation we had. It sort of imagines me riding a Tyrannosaurus Rex wearing shorts while defending him and myself from space aliens and in UFOs. I'm holding a shield, and underneath you can see me, as I said, sitting at my drawing table in a sort of hyperdimensional space-time thing with a penguin around the corner.
Yes.
Simple.
Yes. Oh yeah, it's an INTP
It's drawn
dream.
from life.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so I'm going to just grab a few of your cartoons at random.
Yeah.
And let's take a look at them. Okay. All right. So here's another one. Noah, go ahead. Why don't you help me out here? Left, right. Oh, no, that's
it's
good.
great.
I can see it.
Oh, this
All
was
right.
interesting.
Oh, this is good. Tell us about this one.
This was done. This was actually done for the South Coast Insider.
Okay.
And it's an Easter. Well, it's actually gigantic killer Easter rabbit robot
For
thing.
the kids.
Yeah, for the kids.
Yeah.
That would be your typical person wearing a bunny suit, running in terror from the giant robotic Easter bunny that fabricates eggs in its midsection and then takes them out and hurls them at you.
Does it reach into itself for the eggs?
I would think so.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So it just like reaches into its belly and
Are
pulls
they
them.
what type of eggs? Are they just hard-boiled eggs, or are they? What are they?
They would probably contain some sort of enzyme that would dissolve you if they hit you.
Jesus. Okay. No, that's fantastic. That is fantastic.
That
All right.
really is fantastic.
I know, isn't it? It really is. Okay, let's go to another one. Oh, look at this one. Okay, I see this one sort of grabbed my eye.
Ah.
All right, so okay, so here we go. Oh, there's a message in this one.
This was done for one of the children's magazines, and I think actually it was Dictator, because one of the things that they have me do is, for example, there's what's called a Fun for Words column, and what I'm asked to do is illustrate a word or a phrase, for example, and I think this one is Dictator.
Wow, that's
And,
great. Anything specific you want to say about it?
No, I mean it's not. I'm not that happy with it from a standpoint of the art of it, but I mean they liked it, and ultimately it's a product. So if the art director likes it, you do what the art director says.
Yeah, that's
And,
right. I would do that with NFGeeks. I understand.
I think maybe the color's a little strong for my own liking, but anyway,
Yeah,
it did the job.
he's kind of a stylish dictator.
Well, it occurred to me that
Is this like fashion dictatorship?
actually, as I think about it, he's sort of a hybrid. I was thinking of all of these the dictators who all wear, very bespoke suits, and they seem to fall into two categories. You have dictators who wear bespoke suits, and you have the ones that wear military uniforms that seem to be peculiar only to their country. I mean, they always have like little decorations for
Right.
the battle of something that nobody ever heard of,
Yeah.
but they want,
Or
you know,
yeah, and the other dictator is like Mao, which is like just totally neutral, colored, boring.
he was somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
So this was kind of like I tried to get. I felt like Mao's. Actually, Mao wore. He was dark blue. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's take another one. Let's just grab one from the pile. This is great. Okay, let's see. It's magical. All right, what about this one?
Oh, this was an idea. Actually, this is one of the ideas for the conceivable comic thing, and I'm going to name it Smirt.
Smirt?
Smirt.
And that comes from why? Why is this smirt?
Well, there's a friend of mine, and we have a sort of code between the two of us, and we talk about, be smirt or you are smirt, because if you actually pronounce smirt or spell it that way, obviously you're not. So the idea would be that smirt would be kind of an inside joke that what you're reading is total horse product, and the
Good catch.
and it's also sort of the character. The little sort of like bird-like guy wearing the suit would also be Smirt. Him named Smirt.
Okay.
And this is kind of an example. It's like if I can read this thing, most shampoos contain chlorofluorodiacetate. When you wash your hair, you will inhale the ionized vapors or the volatiles of the chemical. The volatile mimics a moth pheromone. Moths, which are called, in this particular case of the species Dawsonii nocturnus, will lay their eggs in the sinuses of sleeping people who have used such products, and they enter through their noses.
There you go.
Attracted by the hormone, of course, because you've inhaled this stuff.
That's right.
And this, in fact, was the friend of mine who studied biology and messaged me back and said, "What in the hell are you talking about?"
Taking it kind of literally.
But I named the fly, the moth, after her.
Oh,
So
that's
she
wonderful.
found that flattering.
Oh, good. Let's try to get one more before this episode ends. All right, this one. Let's see what we got what do we got here? Hey, it's funny. It's wearing the same sunglasses as you. There's a whole NFC. Now the NFs are interpreting this.
What do you think it is? Let
I
me
think
ask-
it's you.
No.
Oh, no.
No.
Okay, what is it?
No. You get three. You get 3 shots.
I get 3 shots.
You get 3 shots.
I don't. It's not. It's a flying. Oh no, it's a clam, of some kind.
Getting warmer,
Okay, a coag.
colder.
Colder. Okay, we got like a minute.
Hurry up! You're right. It's a mollusk.
Clam, a mollusk. Okay.
It's a scallop.
Okay, scallop.
Actually, in that thing is the original one I did for these folks, where they wanted me to do a clam, and I did the clam, and they couldn't figure out. I knew this one I did. It's like a clam just looks like a rock. So then they said, "Well, can you do a scallop?" So I did a scallop, and then I figured the scallops actually have little teeny weeny eyes. So I give them some sunglasses and, of course, a pair of pants because you don't, what are you going to do? And then sort of a campaign hat. And underneath him and in the panel he's holding on the robotic arm that sticks out of his thing will be it's for an event they're having in Westport.
That's great. All your drawings are sort of transhuman cyborgs.
Yeah.
There's always something that's in there that comes from that. All right, we got a few seconds. What would you, where do you find the inspiration mostly? In the real world, in your head?
All of the above.
All of the above.
I mean, the real world goes through an awful lot of very distorted filters when it gets into my head. So by the time I'm actually processing what I'm seeing, it has almost no relationship to reality.
We can see that. So, all right, so that's been evidenced in the episodes thus far. All right, so that's great. And I think we're going to do another episode to show some more of your art.
Hoorah.
Because they're so interesting. All right, well, Tom, thank you for this episode.
Oh, shake hands.
Great, that's right. All right, Noah, take